Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whatever time of day it is and whatever day it is, I want to thank you for listening to another episode of AJH Politics. I'm Eric. In this episode, we're taking a look at Topeka, Kansas City Council races here in 2025, where I asked them, why should a libertarian vote for you? I asked the candidates. Before I get into that, I do want to acknowledge that I apologize for any of the awkward pauses and the ums and the AV quality. It is what it is. I know I also did some vulgarity. I would have liked to have said that this should be fairly PG-13, but this is a video about voting, so it's generally meant for an adult audience, and most of it's pretty PG-13, but I dropped some bombs. Moving on, what can we expect? I already told you what the question was. Episode 1 is going to be the incumbent from District 1, which is Karen Hiller, and I just did the incumbents first just because I did. So episode 2 will be from District 1, William Neger. The odd districts are what are up for election here, so next would be District 3, and episode 3 will be incumbent Sylvia Ortiz. Episode 4 for District 3 challenger Daisy Karima. For District 5, Brett Daniel Kell is running unopposed. I reached out to him. He did not respond back to me. I reached out to him again. I haven't still heard anything back. I'm just not really going to chase that down. So it is what it is. Moving on, District 7. Well, Episode 5 for District 7 will be Earl McIntosh, which I want to acknowledge I am involved with his campaign. So I'll try to not be biased about this stuff, but I am involved with his campaign. He's a challenger, District 7 retired. So there's another challenger, and that is Michelle Bradbury. There's no incumbent. And so Michelle Bradbury will be Episode 6 for District 7. Episode 7, we're going back to the mayoral race, Spencer Duncan. And I should mention on the mayoral race as well as on District 1, there was a primary before that because there were multiple persons on, so many people on the candidate, they narrowed it down to just the top 2. And so this is who survived that. And so that was Episode 7 for Spencer Duncan, who is also currently District 8 representative. So the mayor's resigning or retiring. So there's no incumbent, but Spencer Duncan kind of incumbent in terms of having a little asterisk next to his name, maybe. The other challenger will be Episode 8 for mayor race, Henry McClure. And then at the time when I first made this introduction, 8 of these 12 people had responded, there's 3 people running for District 9, which is where I live, which was a little annoying for me since I would like to get something from them. But I happened to actually just talk to Chris Deister, who's going to be now Episode 9. Now he is a challenger. If I hear from the other challenger, Nick Trammell, or the incumbent Michelle Hoffer, I will try to post those videos if I can. Beforehand, but I'm glad I got in contact with someone. He should be sending me an email with his answer to why should a libertarian vote for you? So without further ado, let's see what they said to that question. Hello, and we are recording for Episode 5 for Earl McIntosh, District 7. I did lose my AV stuff from earlier, so I have to re-record this, unfortunately. It is what it is. I do want to acknowledge that I am involved with Earl McIntosh's campaign, so I will probably come off as being biased because I do think that you should vote for him. That being said, I'm going to read what I sent, his response to my question, and I'm going to provide probably some positive and negative critiques of it, just like I did with everyone else's. When I sent him the email, why should a libertarian vote for you, I basically sent the same email to everyone, so I didn't preface this with anything, which is why maybe his answer is short and simple, because he's probably like, dude, you know why. And I do know why. But this is what you said. So, Earl McIntosh, why should a libertarian vote for you? Good morning, Eric. To answer your question, every decision I make, I ask, is it going to make me or other people freer? I put God and freedom first always. Sincerely, Earl McIntosh. Okay, so a few things that I like about that. The first thing is of course, him talking about making people freer and also putting freedom first. Another thing that I like, which is also kind of a critique, is if you really kind of dive into the sentence there. He says he wants to make me or other people freer. And so there's an inherent selfishness with that when you use the word me. But I know Earl, and I think he understands freedom with the idea that I can't be free without you being free. So he's making himself and other people freer. Another thing I'll point out is when he signs off with God, I just kind of think of sometimes politicians use the name of God, God bless America at the end of it, and I just think of this clip of President Bush using God to justify dropping bombs in Iraq, and it doesn't really sit well with me when politicians use God in their stuff. But a lot of politicians say God bless America, and they get elected, and I don't get elected. So it's all good because God is good, and when you put good and freedom first, always, I think that's inherently a good thing. I guess the last thing that I want to say about Earl, just because I am involved with his campaign and I think that kind of influenced his short answer, is I just want to say that I know that he's boots on the ground and has done a lot of work, not just campaigning right now, but prior to that, he organized a petition to help put a cap on property tax revenue, which we got enough signatures, and then, long story short, I'm just going to say shenanigans happened where it didn't even make it up to a vote for the city council. And fast forward to now, he's running for city council. So I appreciate all that work that Earl put in, and that's why I think you should vote for him. But that is it for this episode. Thank you. All right. So there it is. Here's my outro. You've watched this episode. Thank you for watching it. I do want to say that as I try to critique everything, maybe a little bit positive here, maybe a little bit negative there, and try to kind of approach it from the lens of, here's an interesting question, even if you're not involved in this election. See how people respond to it, like with kind of this idea of like, what does it actually mean to be a libertarian? What does a politician that's running think of that word? And then I also kind of gave my own critiques, positive and negative. Write down in your comments, do you agree or disagree with how libertarian of a response the answer was? And do you agree or disagree with any of my hot takes on any of that? But other than that, thank you for watching. Bye.